Alright traders, George here, and time for an update on the S&P. I gave you a forecast at the beginning of the year. Time just to update the S&P portion of that video. At that time, here's the view that you had of the S&P. From that actual video, a screenshot, we were at 1838.75 on the futures for the S&P, and the call that I made was not to expect any more than 15 points of upside. We made it a few points higher, and the main goal of that was to talk about downside, and that the low 1720s, 1620 to 1640, and 1550 to 1575 were the three main zones to look at involving DSR levels. Of course, we had the support swing here in the upper 1750s. So here's where we are now. On the DSR model, you can see we made it up just a couple points higher, and we're down to 38.75 right now. So we've gone down quite a bit, about 100 points here from that last video. And just recently here, as of yesterday, we had a real strong bear candle through a support zone. Today we had a bit of a rally and a bit of a fade into the overnight session, which is where we are right now. So the takeaway is we've broken below structure support right here. We're moving towards that lower 1720s, and this is the last DSR level that was resistance where we broke out. So that's why that's an important area to watch. We're hard oversold right now. We haven't been this pegged for quite some time. Last time was over here. Something to watch. So it's a bit of a battle. The bears have a good foothold here with breaking below structure here, and this is maybe something they're working against, but even stronger will actually be to their benefit moving down. So 1722, 1723 to look for over here to the left. And let me give you a better under the hood view of what's going on with the S&P. Onto the balance beam here. When we were at the 1838 level for that last video, we'd broken over this level here, which was a pretty good commitment, and so a real good continuation by the bulls there. They let go of this zone here, and a pullback, not really that big of a deal pulling back to this area here, but breaking below this area is where things start to accelerate, and there's less commitment there, and that's why we move down quicker. We're down to 3850s right now. We're literally at the edge of this thick balance beam off here to the left. There's an air pocket that starts from about 55, starting to move down, so we've really tested the patience of this area here as support as we start to trade and close below this 40 line here. Retesting 32s from yesterday is clearly on the table, and then moving down, you can see the beam gets stronger down here. So 1690 up to about 1708 is an area to watch outside of the 1722. Those are really the two main zones to look at right now with price heading down. If the bulls can get some posture here and start trading over 40s like they did today, but keep that close happening, then they can start to work back against, and really the main price point to watch would be 1790 on the way up. That's the spike right here. Lastly, let me give you a view of the 60-minute chart here. So remember the price points from the DSR chart, and then remember what I just showed you on the daily for the balance beams. And then here's a look at some of the structure here. There's actually some strong harmonic pulse action happening with these impulses. I've got two reads there, but essentially they're projecting down for a harmonic completion down between 1719 and 1723s, and we're at 39s right now. We do have a double bottom here. It's a little bit steep, but that formation is in development there, and we know RSI is oversold, so maybe we could see a little pop there. If we start moving lower, though, in terms of confluence, this 19 to 23 zone is a hot one. 1690 that I mentioned as a balance beam actually has harmonic and fib confluence with the impulses that have just been created here, which is pretty incredible. The 1.618 of this secondary impulse comes in at 1690. The initial impulse here, the 100% projection, comes in at 1689.55. So real tight, and that happens to lock right in with that balance beam. I'm giving a nod to 1702 on this chart here. Maybe talk about that in the live room. We get below 1732s. That's taking out the low from yesterday, and very likely seeing a 10-point continuation down to this zone here. And then watch for the pass-through effect if the bulls get on their horse and snap this thing back through in real time tomorrow, as we're right on the floor of a key area. So downside moving as scripted from the last video, over 100 points here. That's it for now, and I'll see you back in the live room tomorrow.